What's going on, everybody? So this is Desert Truck rear end update video number 2. If you've been following along on the channel, I've been doing some updates as far as the drivetrain because the amount of power I'm feeding through it is causing the rear diffs to strip out and pretty much just fail. So I've actually gone through 2 of the plastic ones and 1 metal one. So you might be asking yourself, well, why don't you just turn the power down on the ESC and drive it sweet? And my response to that is because I don't want to. And I like to go fast, let's be honest. So with the help of a YouTube subscriber I have, or at least a person who commented on my video, I hope he's a subscriber, he found out, it's Problem Solver, by the way, that's his username. So this is kind of big thanks to him for finding this out. I went and picked up one of these, a big heavy duty rear axle off of a 10th scale twin hammer, and this thing is awesome. It is massive, and I fully expect this thing to take everything I can throw at it. I've been racing RC cars and playing with RC cars for 20 years, since I was like, I don't know, 15 years old. And this thing is beefy. Usually rear axles, you know, don't come with like axle tubes and legit rear ends, but this one's pretty cool. So right off the bat, you can tell, you know, it's a little bit bigger, so it's going to have a wider wheelbase. Another thing you can tell is that the mounting points for the sway arms, I think they're sway arms, are links, or 4 links, I'm not sure. I'm not incredibly 100% on my terminology there, but the swing arms, I'm going to call them swing arms. If I'm wrong, correct me. Yeah, so where the swing arms actually mount is just a little bit too wide, but luckily the heim joints that the Desert Truck have, they can go out a little bit, so everything should be fine there. Another issue that I found is where the 4-link set actual bars mount is, you know, it's a little bit bigger, so you can't actually put the stock mounts there. So I, being a nerd as well, I have a 3D printer, so I 3D printed new mounts up. So I'm not a designer by any stretch of the imagination, so they work. They're not pretty, but they're very functional. And they actually do mount on there. I've already mounted them up there and got them all test fitted, so they work really well. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the truck and give you a quick update and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so here's the axle all installed. So as you can tell, you know, you still get full articulation. You do bottom out a little on the frame here, but I think that's just a product of the 3D printed 4-link mounts. So yeah, take a look here. You can tell it does spread it out a little bit, the trail arms, because it is a little longer. So not too bad though. It's definitely doable. One thing I didn't like, and I think I'm going to have to redo the mounts, is the pinion angle is a little flat for me. I'd like to have it a little bit more, you know, the pinion pointed up toward the output shaft. But yeah, man, the wheelbase doesn't look too far off. I mean, the axle is wider, so just to mock up the wheels here. One of the things that is you do have to modify is the wheel hexes. So there you go, you can see there's a little bit of a wider stance, but honestly it's just going to help with stability, I think. So not too disappointed in that. So but yeah, like I mentioned, you're going to have to modify the wheel hexes. So these metal ones, they look like pewter or some sort of other simple sort of cast metal. They don't actually fit on there, So they fit a little bit, but when they hit this little inside race there, it just stops. So I just have to drill them out so they fit all the way on. The pins actually fit through here, so you're good there. But so yeah, not too bad. I'll get it all mounted up. All right, guys, ran into an issue whenever I was installing the rear end. Got it all up there, got the links, got everything all set up, and whenever you hit forward, the front wheels went forward and the rear wheels went in reverse. So luckily, I knew that with these rear ends like they are, you can actually flip the diffs around and cause them to run in the opposite direction. And on this actual particular rear end, they try and stop you. I don't know if you can make this out, but right here there's a little bevel in the plastic. It's just a little bump that would stop you. So original installation is like this. The original installation's like that. So you would go to turn the tires, and everything, it would just not turn like you would expect. So all you have to do is you have to take it and pretty much just flip it around like that. And I know you can do this because rebuilding RC diffs at races and such, if you do this wrong, it goes in reverse. So kind of one of those things where when you make a mistake, you still learn something. This is a good example. So what you actually have to do is I just took a nice sharp razor blade and just shaved it off. Just shaved it completely down. Everything was shaved off, and now it'll fit in there and everything will pop back together. So, yep, the joys of modifications. So, cool. Just wanted to make sure I documented that and made sure everyone was aware of it. So, alright, so back to putting it together. As I'm putting this thing together, I have no fears that this thing should be able to handle any power I throw at it. This thing is beefy as heck. So I use heck to keep my channel PG because I'm nice like that. Alright, so all back together. Let's see if it works right. Alright guys, she's all installed and she works. She rolls forward. You do have to swap out, reverse the diff gear on the pumpkin there. But yeah, she drives. No more one tire fire. You get both lit up and she'll stand on her rear end real quick. So this is not a bolt-on upgrade. I think anyone who thinks it is probably doesn't do a lot of RC modifications, but it's doable. I must say that with my 3D printer, it makes it a little easier because of the mounts I had to print. So here's the things you have to actually do. One, you have to reverse the diff, flip it over so it drives forward. Two, figure out a way to make these brackets here for the 4-link bars. Three, the hexes for the actual wheels themselves, they have to be drilled out. You have to drill out so I use my metal ones that came in the metal kit, but you have to actually drill that out a little bit. And pretty much just make it the exact diameter of this this opening here. So I don't know if you can tell, if you have this wheel hex, excuse me, you'll be able to tell that there's actually sort of a little sleeve right here. Not really a sleeve, but just where it isn't as open as right here. So get you a drill bit that fits this part here perfectly. Just drill it all the way out that same exact size. and you can put it on there. So you can use the same pins, just have to drill that hole out. The last thing is the actual shaft itself. You have to modify that. You have to take, I would say, you know what, I don't want to just ballpark it. So let me get how much I took off of mine. See where my dial calipers are, right here, perfect. So what you have to do, the reason for this is because without this installed, you have full travel. With the actual drive shaft and the you know, the expansion sleeve installed, you bottom it out. So you need to remove from the drive shaft side collar. I removed about a little over 6 millimeters of it, and on the opposite side I removed about 5.3. I would say, yeah, about 5.25 millimeters. Now you don't want to go too far, because if you go too far then they actually won't work, but as you can tell, at full compression I still have a little gap there. So I actually even went too far. So I would say that, you know, to be on the safe side, because I think I might actually be able to use that little bit of space and redo these 4-link mounts to where it will actually compress all the way, so you don't lose a bit, because like I say, it does bottom out there on the frame. So yeah, this twin hammer tent scale axle will fit on the WL was it a 12428, I believe. So it works. Just give you a quick demo here. And I know that I am going to have to adjust that angle, because whenever you give it a little bit of a throttle, you can hear it jumping around. So if you compress the drive shaft a little bit and then give it some she works. Or as I've been hearing lately, she chooches. So she's got definite chooch factor. So there we go, guys. It is possible to put a larger, more sturdier rear end on your desert truck. Hopefully this helps. Please ask questions if you have them. Hopefully I can help out. And if you think of something else I can try to make this better, I'm open to suggestions. I just went with my first gut instinct and try to do everything, and she works. So awesome, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.